Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is our success meetups. We talk about tips, tricks, and Q&As for KV Core. My name is Christina Hampton. I get to be your trainer and your host today. I'm a senior product trainer here at Inside Real Estate. Um, Not an agent myself, but parents are, grandparents were, siblings are. I'm surrounded by it. Um, I love taking kind of like the tech side of it. And I am a big fan of KV Core, obviously, and that you can automate all these things to grow your business. So that's what brings me here today. With our success meetup weekly or 3 times a week meetup that we do, for those of you who it's your first time, welcome. We're offered 3 times a week, currently Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to be um, a little bit more basic. But they're all within KV Core. We don't really leave the platform too much on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but on Wednesdays we'll get into some like bringing in some outside things into KV Core. Like some weeks you'll work with Canva to make a newsletter, or connecting in Facebook ads, or using Zapier for Mojo Dialer, different things like that. So it's always different. We post the topics every Mondays in our Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that, I do recommend it. And then we also do post the recordings on our YouTube channel. And so here is the playlist specifically for today. Chat that out to you. And so this QR code that you can see in the top right corner, you can scan that if you want to. That's another way that you can register to be here. So you can keep an eye on the Facebook group. That's one way to register. You can scan that QR code. That's another way to register. You could also go into KV Core itself and view the live training calendar and register from there. So that's what brings us all together. That's what kind of the success meetup is. We don't usually go the whole hour with our prepared topic because Q&A. So I'm going to go through, change the settings so you can all unmute yourself. Don't feel pressure. You don't have to unmute yourself, but it's certainly more fun if you do. You can use that chat, raise your hand, use the Q&A feature, or interrupt me. Any of those options is fine. So today's topic, we're going to do a deep dive on multi-property squeeze pages. So quick, just show of hands. You can raise your hand in Zoom. How many of you have used a multi-property squeeze page before? Or you can chat in yes or no if that's easier for you. What is that? Perfect. We'll start there. Okay, so squeeze pages are part of our lead engine tools. So the lead engine is all about getting contacts into KV Core. It's an important part of your business, right? Having leads and contacts within the KV Core system, so that way we can nurture them. So squeeze pages specifically is one type of free lead generation tool. So there's within those squeeze pages, what they are is you create links and you share those links out into the world. So that could be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You could blog about it. You could even take this link and make it a custom page on your website. You can do all kinds of things with squeeze pages. When we look at squeeze pages specifically, there's 4 types of squeeze pages. So when someone clicks the link that you post, so Facebook, LinkedIn, a custom page, something you put in a newsletter, a link, just like if you were to share an article. When someone clicks on that link, it takes them back to your KV Core website. And so it's either going to take them to a multi-property squeeze page, which is what we're going to do a deep dive on today. So multi-property squeeze page is showing them a search result page with multiple properties, right? Multiple property squeeze page. So if you're on your own business page, or excuse me, if you're on your own website, for example, let me pull up my website. And go. After a slight but dramatic pause. There we go. So a multi-property squeeze page would look something like this. It's going to show multiple properties that meet whatever search criteria you did in the squeeze page. A single property squeeze page is going to show off one singular property. When someone clicks on that link, it's going to take them to that one singular property, which there it goes. Another type of squeeze page is a market report squeeze page. So it takes people here to sign up for a market report. And the fourth and final kind is the seller squeeze page. So it takes people, after a dramatic pause, to the seller valuation page on your website here. All right, so a squeeze page link is a link you share out into the world, and your goal is to get people to click on that link, because when they do, they then register and become a lead within your KV Core account. So that's the goal of what we're doing. We have 4 ways to entice them: with a home valuation, with a seller squeeze page, signing up for a market report with a market report squeeze page, to get information about one specific property with a single property squeeze page, or to show them a list of properties, some kind of search result with a multi-property squeeze page. So we're going to start with the basics, just how to build a basic one in here. And then we'll talk about kind of some different strategies behind where you would use a multi-property squeeze page. So a multi-property squeeze page, let's look at a couple examples actually on my Facebook business page real quick. So an example would be, I want to find a good one. Here's a good one. So the squeeze page, when you post it, just looks like this. It's just an image of a listing from the MLS. That's what it looks like. I added in some kind of call to action. So Waterview Properties in San Diego County, which one is your dream home? Let's chat. So not the best call to action, I'll be honest with you, but there it is. So when someone then clicks on the property, they are then taken out of Facebook and to my KV Core website. So I also want to level set a little bit. When I say website today, I mean your KV Core site. Okay, so it's going to take them to your website, your KV Core website. And here are all the properties that meet that search criteria. Okay, here's another example, because I did water view, I did not do waterfront. So all of these properties, you could see the ocean, or there's some lakes, or there's some lagoons and bays and all kinds of water to view. If we scroll down, here's another one. So looking to put your own personal touch on your new space. All of these San Diego County homes are waiting for you. Click through and comment your favorite below. So a little bit better call to action, tells them exactly what to do. So they click, it takes them to my KV Core website, where they can now click through all these homes that are fixer-uppers, right? So you can see fixer-upper, and they're all, we determine if they're fixer-uppers based on the information that's been put in the MLS, because we have a direct feed from the MLSs that you're a board member of. So this is the squeeze page. The whole idea is to get more traffic to your KV Core site. So that way, one, we can capture those leads, so you have more leads to follow up with. And two, you're just driving more traffic to your site, which is an all-around good thing for your site. Yeah, absolutely, Terry. The recordings are going to be on our YouTube channel. And so specifically the playlist that it's on, because we have a couple playlists in there, right there. So you might be able to click it, or you might need to highlight it and copy and paste it, but it'll be posted into that YouTube channel. Yeah, good question. And usually it's within 24 hours. It's usually pretty speedy. Our team member who gets that done for us, he's pretty on top of it. So yeah. All righty. So that's like the concept of what a squeeze page is. It's driving more people back to your KV Core site so you can generate more leads. generate more traffic to your website in general, continue to engage those leads and those contacts. And so it is primarily a new lead generation tactic and tool to utilize, but you can also use this in different ways. So squeeze pages are usually used to generate new leads, but you can think about if I actually we'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So a multi-property squeeze page, let's build one. So what we do is we go down the left-hand side first. We're building out the search criteria of a squeeze page. So what is that search alert that we want people to see? So I'm going to pick a location. I can do a city. I can do a county. I can do a zip code or a postal code. I can do a neighborhood. I could also choose to draw this area on a map instead. The cool thing when you do choose to draw on a map is you can actually do two. So, we get a lot of traffic between the 76 and the 78. It's a little ridiculous. So I might choose, well, we can't live on Camp Pendleton unless you do, but this might be if I wanted to really just avoid that traffic, I might draw something like that, right? So you can get, like, if you wanted to do a very specific, like even more specific than an MLS neighborhood, or maybe it's even like just your farming area. Like if you have like a really specific farming neighborhood, which could be as simple as, right here, you could get in there and kind of draw out what you're looking for. You could also use geographical areas rather than what's in the MLS. So what that means is, let's say, like if we looked at this map, you've got Carlsbad here. And so let's say as the listing agent, I put something and said that it was in Carlsbad. Let's see, where's the end of Carlsbad? Right there. So let's say I have a property that's like right here. And so I said that was Carlsbad. But if you actually look at the latitude and longitude, it's in Encinitas. So the agent was not correct. And so you can choose to use geographical areas using the actual latitude and longitude rather than what the agent said to do this as well. So you can like kind of override. So I like to keep things a little bit more open-ended. I like to do counties. That's because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not an active agent. And so I just like to do counties because I like to know that I'm always going to get search results as I'm doing this for a training. If I was an active agent, I would be much more aware of what the actual inventory looked like. And so I would get probably more specific in there into an area that I worked. So if you do work the whole county, if that's a little more your strategy, then by all means put the county in here. But if you're doing a specific city or you're really being hyper local on a neighborhood, you can get that local, you can put that in the location. So the location is all about what's important to you, what kinds of, what's going to be important to the people that you're advertising this link to as well. So that's where the location comes in. Then you can ask what type of listing if you want. You can do condos, you could do mobile homes, multi-families, rentals. So let's say I want to work with investors. And so then I would do something bigger like the San Diego County, and listing type, I probably would do multifamily. I could even pick listing statuses if I just wanted active or pending, or if I wanted to kind of limit that, I could do that too. I can do an architectural style, so a one-story cottage, an apartment, and arts and crafts. Like we have a lot of arts and crafts where I am, right? So maybe I just want to pull in arts and crafts architectural style of properties. Maybe I just want to pull in the colonial style. You get the idea. So if I wanted to do a squeeze page of a style of home, I could do that. The other part is straightforward: bed, bath, price, etc. So we're going to kind of skip that part. And one thing you might notice as I'm going through this is I'm not filling out everything. You don't have to fill out anything. You have to fill out something, but you have to fill out a location, and then you really need one other thing here. And so again, your big goal is what are my consumers looking for? Right. And really you can answer that and your consumers. And so you could test these out. Okay, what got me more leads? Was it when I was posting multifamily homes for the county or multifamily homes for the city? Like what was more effective in where I was putting it? So you can really analyze your results, or you can just throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks, you know. So I can put other criteria in here, or I can leave it blank. Walk score, this is cool. That comes from, ooh, totally blanking on that. I think it comes from Walk Score. So it's calculated by them. And then options. I love, 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 love these options. Let's say that I've put into my business strategy calendar that I do a multi-property squeeze page on Mondays and Thursdays, right? That's my commitment to me and my business and my growth. That's what I'm doing. And it's Thursday. It's not, it's Tuesday, but it's on my calendar and I'm just kind of blank with what to do. These options are a lifesaver because all you need is a location and then an option, and you have a nice list of homes people might want, like no HOA fees. Yes, please. Seller financing, 2-car garages, basements, decks, air conditioning. So there's a lot of options in here that you can kind of pick and choose from. So that's the search criteria. Think about what type of property, what list of properties consumers might be interested in your area, right? It's going to be different in different places. The one I'm choosing to do right now is San Diego County multifamily homes. I might even try, maybe I'm going for that first time investor. And so I'm going to do properties under $1 million, or, I might do something like that. Or I might not. Again, for the sake of today, since I don't know the inventory very well, I'm going to leave it a little bit more open-ended. So now that we've completed our left side of the page, we can do our right side of the page. So this page, well, before I do that, what questions do we have about search criteria? Okay, so search criteria again, so many options, so many things that you can do on there. And so now we're going to move over to page configuration. This page configuration is background for you. Your leads, your contacts who click on these links, they're not going to see this. So they're not going to know what source or hashtags you gave to them. They're not going to see that. So the source is where you can say the source, right? You say where these leads came from, right? So the source is going to be your identifier, your anchor. It's kind of how you're naming your link, so you can find it later, check your stats later. And when you look at a specific lead detail, you can even see what source it is. So you can leave it blank. You can, if you leave it blank, then the source is PPC, so it stands for pay per click. If you leave it blank, that's totally fine. Or you can put whatever source you want. And good question, Thomas, about geographic area. So geographic area, so let's clear this out. Let's reset. Okay, so this geographic area. So when you are saying the location that you want this list of homes to be from, so again, let's say San Diego County. Okay, that's the list, or that's the location that I want these properties to be in, is San Diego County. But let's say I have a property. I said country that way. That's why I got confused. So bless you. So yes, we'll do San Diego country. That's fine. And so I've got San Diego here. Actually, I'm just going to hit refresh. So let's say that I took a listing and I put it in school district is where this comes up the most, or like the neighborhoods, not so much like the city and the county. But so let's say I take a listing and, I'm unaware that they just changed the school district lines, because that happens all the time. And so I say that it's in a certain school district. However, if you actually were to look at a map and look at the latitude and the longitude of that listing, so instead of looking from the MLS, and the MLS says it's in the Tustin School District. So instead of looking at the MLS, the computer, I don't need to do this. Yeah, the computer actually looks at the latitude and the longitude and says, you're not in that school district. And so that way it's more accurate if you click that. It uses the actual location rather than what someone may or may not erroneously put into the MLS with the best of intentions. So this is also how you can get for people who have, like, if you're in an area with your MLS that goes over state lines, for example, or oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Kansas City, right? Kansas City, it's in two states. So this is an example where that would work very well. If I'm looking up Kansas City, I don't want everything in Kansas City. I really only want the ones that are in my state. And so this geographical area makes it more accurate because it actually looks at the latitude and the longitude of that property. So good question. Okay, let me put this back in, do my multifamily. There we go. Okay, so source is for me to be able to track and identify and anchor where the leads come from that click this link and register. So again, I can leave it blank. I don't recommend leaving your source blank. It is the one thing in KV Core that you can't edit though. So it is something to be mindful of. So for example, if I create this link and then I share it out onto my Facebook business page, I probably want to put Facebook business. So that way I know every person who becomes a lead because they clicked on this link, they found it on my Facebook business page. So I know if this is an effective lead source for me at the end of the year or the end of the quarter, I can look in business analytics and look at my lead sources and see what's giving me good ROI. So let's say I'm going to put on my Facebook business page because I am. And then my hashtags, those are for me. These are not the same as your social media hashtags. These are not going to be displayed out onto social media. This is for you to label your leads and your contacts, right? And these are your own specific labels here. It can be whatever you want. So I'm going to put multifamily San Diego, right? Or maybe San Diego multifamily, whichever one I like. And I'm going to put potential investor. Right now, how many of us use hashtags already in KV Core? Show of hands or chat in yes or no, whichever you're comfortable with. Cool, couple hands. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay. All right, yeah, so the hashtags are your own personal labels, right? Because for example, maybe I'm gonna do a different multifamily tomorrow. And so I might do it for Orange County, right? Maybe I toggle back and forth. I just like to help investors whichever the county they're in. And so I would still give them both potential investor because I'm going to group them together like that. But I want them to be separate multifamily San Diego versus multifamily Orange County, right? So these are my personal labels. There are more ways to organize your contacts. We have in that YouTube playlist that I chatted out, we for sure have a deep dive of hashtags that goes through like everything you can do with hashtags. You can group your contacts together to email them. You can make pre-created smart campaigns that are tailored to that group of people. There's like 15 webinars I could do just on hashtag usage. So for today, they're labels. They're ways for you to organize your contacts. You can decide if you need a custom Facebook cover photo. This really just depends on your MLS rules and regulations. The default setting when I make a squeeze page is it's just going to pick a property from my search criteria to be what posts out onto Facebook. So like this is just a random listing that is a San Diego County fixer-upper, right? That's what you're going to find there. I didn't put anything on this cover photo, but maybe where I am with my MLS, that's not okay. Maybe I have to use a listing from my agency or my company. So I can put that. Maybe it has to be, there we go, from my agency. Maybe it has to be, low price listing from my agency, right? Because maybe I'm doing something on the lower price point here. So I need an agency listing, but I don't want it to show like a luxury property if I'm doing a lower price point kind of squeeze page. So there's some options in here. Just kind of pick what you need. You can do a specific listing as well. You just put in the MLS ID. So if you wanted to like kind of use this as a way to showcase one of your listings, you could do that. That's a smart thing to do. So if I have a multifamily property for sale in San Diego, kind of a sideways way, so like not a direct advertisement, but like a side advertisement, use a photo from my listing. Right? So then it's like advertising my listing without advertising my listing. So different things that you can do here. Now, this property view is allowed before someone shows up and registers. That's because when someone clicks on this link, our goal here is to get them to register. My goal is to get a new lead that I can work with and communicate with and work through KV Core with. So we want them to register. There are some other settings here. If you want them to register on the very first property that they look at, you change it. Our default is 2. So they look at one property like without needing to register, then they go to look at the second property and that's when they need to register. I could say that they never need to register. That doesn't make sense for lead generation, but there are reasons why you would do that. We'll circle back to that. Now that I'm done, I generate my link. So here's my link. I kind of skip down and click this green generate link button, and I'm presented with a long looking direct link and a cute little short link. So which one do I use? Depends where I'm putting it. The long direct link, if you're doing like a Google ad or really any kind of ad with this squeeze page, then you want to use the long link. Facebook also prefers the direct link, I have found. The short link you're going to use anytime that someone might see the link. So for example, in a text code response, you'd use the short code. If you are putting it on Instagram or Twitter, short code. If you're putting it in an email, short code, right? So anywhere someone's going to see it, use the cute little short one. So you copy the link by just clicking on the icon that's here on the right. So just click it and it's been copied to your clipboard. If you're a little bit more, I'm going to affectionately say old school, and you prefer to highlight, right click and copy, right click and or control C, whatever you want to do, it all does the same thing. So clicking this copy to the clipboard or highlighting, whatever makes you feel comfortable, it's all fine. So now that I have this link, we're going to put it on Facebook because that's what I said. It's going on my Facebook business page. So I go to what's on your mind. I paste it in here. It's going to thinking about it. It's thinking about, and it's kind of like analyzing my website to see what properties it's going to pull in. And there we go. Now, this is a hideous link. I always remove it. You want to wait till the photo populates, but I always remove it. And then I give them some kind of call to action, right? This is where a little practice and a little strategy and some skills when it comes to marketing is going to come into place, because you want it to be an eye-catching post. You want to give them a clear call to action so they know what to do. I always recommend some kind of emojis, throw those things in there, absolutely. So this is going to be looking to invest these or I might say all of these homes in San Diego County are listed as multi-family properties. And then a call to action. Give me a call if you want to review your options. If I say give me a call, then I'm going to put my phone number or something like that. So that's why I usually say like comment or message or something like that. And then I'd probably put some emojis in here to make it more eye-catching. So like if you're looking to invest, I'm going to be very creative and I'm going to use the eyeballs. My emoji finder is always a little slow, or it could even looking to invest, and then invest, I might put like the flying dollars. Because you want to have some fun with it and you want to do something that's going to stop people from scrolling. And I can't talk and scroll at the same time. I already forgot what I'm looking for. I'm looking for money, which I think I went by. Oh, that works. We'll do that. Okay. All right. So something like that, give me a call. I might put a phone and then I post it. Now, this is because I'm on my Facebook business page. It's asking me if I want to add a button. I totally can. All right. So send a message button to make it easier for people to contact me. I can do other additions to my Facebook post, but this is just a really generic, good thing to do to make sure that if someone goes to my Facebook business page, I have content on here, right? Facebook likes showing off things that have content, right? So the more often I post on here, the more often the people that follow me are to see it. Now, we could do another whole class on Facebook strategies. For example, if something is on your business page, really only the people who follow you already are going to see it unless you boost it and put money behind it, or if you go and make an ad, but it's a good way to connect with people you already know. A really good use of squeeze pages and tactics are to be involved in Facebook groups. So I might go to San Diego County, maybe investors. I don't even know if that is a group, but I might as well look for it. Right, there we go. San Diego real estate investors. Perfect. Join that group. Make sure that you always, read the rules. I'm a part of a couple like rental groups because I'm a renter. And so I could take my multi-property squeeze page and I could, let's reset this and do it again. And I see questions, so I'll pause and come back. So, if I'm in a like a North County rental group. So, okay, let's do Carlsbad, the city, and we're going to do rentals, right? And I'm going to do rentals that allow pets. There's a pet one in here. At least I could have sworn that there was pet. Yep, allows pets. Now, in that Facebook group, you're not allowed to do lead generation links. So in that case, property views before registration, I would set it to never. Now, the benefit of this still, if I take this link and put it into the group, let me go back to my business page. So let's just pretend I'm in a group and not on my business page. The benefit to still posting something, even if they're not going to directly register, is being mindful of two things. One, you are giving value into this group. So this is my pet friendly rentals, call to action. All right, because I'm just getting out there because I see those questions. I want to answer them. So I would still be active in a group like that, but my approach is going to be a little bit different, right? I'm going to be an active member of that group. I'm going to post things about the community in that group once a week, twice a month, whatever the group allows. I'm going to post a list of rentals. And this is taking longer than I was hoping it would, but because the idea is that once someone clicks on my squeeze page link, they're on my website, right? So they're looking at these properties. And even though the automatic registration pop-up will not kick in, they might find a property that they like and they might register as a lead because they choose to ask me a question or request a showing. So those things are still going to have them register as leads. So even though there's no automated lead registration, it's good because I'm providing value into the community. And it's good because they're going to my website, they're thinking about me in real estate. And if they choose to engage with me, now they register as a lead. So even if you're part of a group or groups on Facebook that do not allow you to post like that, these are still other options for you. So see some yeah, Tasha, yes, you can remove the link. Yep, absolutely. I love it because, right, it looks so ugly. Susie has a campaign trigger related question. Does KV Core have additional triggers such as specific date and if then logic? Currently, KV Core only has minutes out. Yes. Okay. So let's table that for a little bit. Let's finish this multi-property and then I'll circle back to you, Susie, because that's a great question. Absolutely. Okay, so using your squeeze pages, couple things that I've kind of glanced over, I've mentioned, but I want to circle back and do a little deeper. One is where you're putting these links matters, right? And how you're interacting with that space matters as to how many leads you're going to get from doing things like squeeze pages and landing pages, right? So for example, I mentioned that if you post, I don't know why this is spinning, let me just refresh it. If you post consistently on your business page, the people who are already following you are more likely to see what you're posting if you're consistent. Facebook has changed so many ways in the last few years that it's really hard to get new followers to your business page organically, meaning without any money. So that's one thing to think about. It's a little easier if you invite people to your page because then they'll follow you. Also, you could take this post here and I can share it. Sorry, Facebook's just being a little slow today. But I could share it onto my personal profile. I could share it into, there we go, share now onto my feed, right? So I'm putting it out and getting more eyes onto it. I could also boost, which means I'm paying for people to see this content, right? And what's really the most powerful thing these days is to be active in groups. So, like that rental one that I mentioned, or find a Facebook group or make a Facebook group if one doesn't exist for the area that you are working in or want to work in. And then the third piece to that is don't just expect to get from the group, right? So expecting to get from the group is if the only things I'm ever posting is something to gather leads for myself, I'm going to get less leads because I'm not providing value. So I want to be providing value as well in these spaces. Things like, other articles or things like commenting on other people's posts, right? So social media wants you to be social. If you want to get the most bang for for your buck, you want to invest a little bit before you try to take that withdrawal. And so being more active online is a good way to get that. So those are all some just little tips to be more and more effective with what you're putting out there. Think about what you're giving as well as what you're expecting to get. So back to squeeze pages. We talked about posting these on things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, things like that. But you can also use these as a way to kind of reconnect to people. So, for example, I might make a search criteria in the city of Carlsbad for, let's see, open houses or newly built or like really anything. Let's do a fireplace. I just got my Christmas tree yesterday, so I'm feeling extra festive. And maybe I'm not using this to actually get new leads. So there's not really a source needed here. I could use this as a link to talk to people that I already have in my CRM that are in Carlsbad, right? So now I have a list of properties in Carlsbad with fireplaces, and maybe I use this to create a newsletter, right? And so I might go to marketing and I might go to my smart campaigns to make an email template first. I might just go straight to my smart CRM or scheduling out a mass email. There's a lot of ways to send emails and newsletters. Okay, so just pick one. So let's say I'm going to schedule out this mass email. I'm going to schedule out an email. to all of my contacts that are already interested in Carlsbad, right? So buyers in Carlsbad. And again, we definitely have a deeper dive on how to do this scheduled mass email. I'm just kind of going really quick to get the point across. I'm not going to use a template. I'm going to say it's cozy time. I could put an emoji in here if I wanted to. Like I could definitely go and put like a Christmas tree emoji in there. And then I just really quickly say, hey, lead's first name. I bought my Christmas tree last night. Still need to decorate. I might do like the laughing face emoji in there. Right, oops, it's a little bigger than I was intending. There we go. Still need to decorate. It made me ready for winter. These homes also make me ready for winter. Enjoy the fireplace. Or I might, ask a question, what's your favorite thing to do with a lit fireplace? I like to read Christmas stories, right? Or I like to sip hot cocoa or whatever it is, right? You're just doing something fun. Okay, and then these homes make me ready for winter, and I'm adding in a link. Uh-oh, I'm lost my links. I put in an emoji, but I can put in my squeeze page link right here. Save that. I have it scheduled out. And so now I'm using a squeeze page as a way to kind of like re-engage. I'm just sending people a list of properties to get them to talk to me, to keep them engaged. I'm just using it as material to send their way. Okay, so that's why I might choose to do a squeeze page with no registration. Okay, all right, any other squeeze pages? Because then I'll go to the questions that are not squeeze related. Raise your hand if you're more confident with squeeze pages now than you were when you first got here. Awesome, good. Saw lots of hands pop up. Okay, good. Okay, good. That's a lot of hands. Okay, good. Good. Okay. The other thing is, you don't have to learn it all at once. You don't have to do a million squeeze pages at once. If you're currently doing none, doing one a week is an improvement, right? So decide, okay, every Monday, I'm going to do a multi-property squeeze page. And so you'll start making it a habit. Like the first time I made a squeeze page, I had to look at my notes as I was going. It took me a while. And now you saw I can do these in like 15 seconds. So they take like no time. I love them. Okay, so a couple questions. I'm going to go the second one first. So Thomas had a Facebook related question about the invite button. So the invite button beside a like on a post is an invite to your business page. There's the share and there's the boost post. I'm not seeing the invite button. Let's see. Oh, Thomas, if you want to unmute, you can and kind of guide me to where that question was.
After an ad, you'll get a response. People like your post.
Mm-hmm.
And just adjacent to that, they'll have an invite, but it doesn't say, well, what are you inviting to, or where, or what is it, to your business page or your personal page or whatever. So
yeah, So yeah, exactly. So yeah, if someone likes your post and then that invite, you're inviting them to like and follow your page, because if they like and follow your page, they're going to see more of your posts.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to
Yeah, absolutely.
get
Yeah,
confirmation.
good
Thank you.
question. You're welcome. Okay, and then we've got, okay, Susie asked a Smart Campaign question. So Smart Campaign. So she's asks, I have a campaign trigger related question. And does KV Core have additional triggers such as specific date and if then logic? Does currently KV only has minutes, hours, days? So, okay. So when we look at our Smart Campaigns, there's two types of campaigns. There's our traditional campaigns, which are the ones that you see here mostly. And the trigger for those, all of our default ones are triggered based on deal type and status, right? So starts when status is sphere and the deal type is renter. Starts when status is new lead and for all deal types. So that's the default. When we're looking at these default Smart Campaigns here, you are absolutely correct. The timing of when things go out, it's minutes, it's days, but it's based on from after they were added to the Smart Campaign. So those are the traditional regular Smart Campaigns. So as someone's added to this campaign, 3 minutes later, this text goes out. 4 minutes after they're added, so not 4 minutes from this one, but 4 minutes from when they're added, an email is sent. 2 days after they've been added, you get a task to make sure they're on property alerts. And you also are scheduling a phone call to make with them. So you are absolutely right that the default campaigns in here are based off of time frame from when they've been added to a Smart Campaign. There are, if you add new campaigns, we don't have any of them in here for you to work with, but you have plenty of things that you can schedule and create campaigns from a specific date. So then these types of campaigns, so the other types, there's time frame, which is the normal one, and then there's date based. So the activities here are going to be from the actual specific date. And so, yeah, I can do a specific date. So maybe if I want something to go out this weekend, so on Saturday, I want a specific email to run, right? I could do that. Or I could do, so this would be like if I'm going to do an email and a text, because you could schedule emails on your own. That's why I say that. So this would be if I'm going to email you, but then also text you. So if I want to do like both things, then I would do a date-based Smart Campaign. Maybe I'm going to invite you to my end of the year party. Maybe I'm going to, and then I can have optional qualifiers too. Like I'm not going to invite everyone to my end of the year party, but I am going to invite people with certain hashtags. So if you have hashtag past client, I'm going to invite you to my end of the year party. If you have hashtag, or maybe I want to invite everyone except for my past clients. I don't know why I would do that, but I could do that. I can do status, source, so I could include or exclude. So yes, you absolutely do have the option to do specific date logic combined with those qualifiers. Yeah, and that's really cool. So like if I did on the 12th, and let's say that this is hashtag past client. Okay. Past client year-end party. So email and text invites for end of year party. And then I always put my initials so I can find my things. If I have too many, I need to clean this out. There we go. Client, past client year-end party. So now I can add in an action, and this email is now going to go on that specific date that my campaign starts. So 12/10, great. That's the date I want this email to go out. Here's your invite. Let's celebrate. Save that change. Oh, this is all important. End of year party invite. Right, and then I would do the same thing for a text. Right, add action, text. I'm going to send that text as well. Hey, I just sent you an email about XYZ, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and the email templates, can you choose specific date that you want the email to be sent out as part, not as a part of an existing campaign, Susie. So I kind of read through that fast. So if the email template, if you want to send out, like if you have a specific, that's where you would do either a, so if you have like one email you want to send it out, you would do either a scheduled mass email, if it's just like that one thing in addition to your smart campaign, and or you could make a date-based campaign to kind of run alongside that other campaign. So like, let's say you have your prospects. And so you have a your status of prospects, your deal type of sellers, and hashtag for sale by owners, for example, or just prospective sellers. Maybe that's one smart campaign for you. And so then hashtag for sale by owner, once a quarter on a specific date, I want to send them something specific. That would be like a second campaign. So you can't mix the two timing types. So the traditional timing type is going to be time frame, like 3 days, 60 days, 5 minutes. And the other time frame or timing type is going to be specific dates. So December 12th, 2 days before that, 5 days after that. And you can't mix and match, but you could do two separate campaigns. Yeah, good question. If the only thing you want to do is send out an email, I think it's easier to do a scheduled mass email because that you can do specific date and time to a specific group of people. So I think that's easier than trying to, I mean, date-based smart campaigns are pretty simple too, but I think it's just easier to do a scheduled mass email rather than a smart campaign. Personally, you can disagree, that's okay. If you do need help, can kvCORE custom create additional triggers? That would be a feature request. So all feature requests would need to go to support. So tell us what that trigger might be that you might want, because we definitely have made changes to the logic before. So the way our feature request process works is we, compile, and when we're done with our list that we've already said we're going to do, then we look at, okay, what are all the requests? Okay, there's 1,000 requests for this feature and only 10 for this feature. Okay, we're going to do this one, right? So we make our commitment list, we work through that commitment list, and then we go back to the request, compile. You get the idea. So if you go to support and tell them what it is that you want, why that's going to help you, then we'll be able to kind of prioritize where that request might lie. So yeah, good question. Yankia has, I only have a few campaigns. How do you obtain more of the default campaigns? So yeah, in the smart campaigns, you have these My campaigns, and a lot of these are just ones that I've made, like copies of one that's here and made changes to them. That's why this is a ridiculous amount of campaigns. That's mostly what it is. It's me doing short examples like we just did today, where I add like 1 or 2 steps and then never come back and erase it, and I should. But if you go to the kvCORE library right here in the center, we do have more. I think we have 27 campaigns. And both anyone on today, if you do have an idea for smart campaigns or for advertising needs that you have, that might be, if you have like an idea for a smart campaign, but you don't want to sit down and make it yourself, that's totally fine. We do have this Done For You Success Services. Let me grab a link to that. That's actually the team that does the Wednesdays of these. So Done For You Services, let me chat this to you. Oops, ignore that laughing face. That was still on my, that's funny. Oh man. Oh, it doesn't want to copy. That is the emoji that just like doesn't want to. There we go. There it is. That link, not the laughing emoji. So that link will take you directly to Done For You services. So like if you want to like do a campaign, but you don't have the time to sit down and do it yourself, they'll do it for you. If you want to advertise and don't want to learn how to do it yourself, they'll do it for you. So lots and lots of options in that Done For You services. Any other questions before we are done for the day? This is a good session. Lots of good questions, squeeze pages and smart campaigns. All right, last reminder, this session, as well as all of our other sessions of the Success Meetups, are on this Google playlist, usually about 24 hours before it's on there, sometimes 48, but we've got lots of good ones. We started this kind of format in September and we go 3 times a week. So lots of good videos posted in that playlist. So thank you all for coming. I will see you. I think my next one is, I think it's next Tuesday. I'm doing a lot of them in December, next Thursday. All right. And I will see you all online. Thank you.